Hey girls, so you want to make a baby, like this cutie patootie right here. So here's my video on how me and my husband conceived this perfect baby on our first try. And I'm gonna get right into it because if you're like me, you're impatient, you're like, okay, I want to know your whole life story, I just want to know what you did, see if I can do it, so I can try and make baby too. So let's get right into it. So the number one thing that I did was get this book. So this book is a fertility awareness method, and basically it helps you learn your body and when you ovulate and when your fertile window is, and then you should know when your period is going to come, all that. So it's incredibly helpful on your TTC journey. In fact, this thing was so effective that me and my husband used it as a natural birth control method for 9 years. 9 years, never got pregnant, no miscarriage, nothing. And then when we finally decided that we wanted to have a baby, we used the same method in the opposite way. So I knew when I ovulated and we did the deed, and then that month we got pregnant. So I highly recommend if you can get this book either brand new or secondhand. The good thing about this book compared to there's a lot of apps now on your phone that help you know when your period is coming, and so it kind of gives you a guesstimate of when you might ovulate, and on the app it'll suggest, okay, here's your fertile window, try these days. But this book goes into detail, scientific detail, so that you actually know when you ovulate. So there's proof, there's a lot of research in here, and I think it's just good overall, your body. Let me just show you here, there's a little chart. So it's kind of the old school charting way. I started doing this in the beginning, and then later I found an app called OvuView, which allowed me to have the same information, like my temperature, my cervical fluid, if I wanted to put in my cervix, all that stuff like that. I could track all of this stuff into my phone, so I didn't have to use so much paper. So you can still use your apps, but I definitely recommend also learning about your own fertility. The reason I even started using this book was because I had a friend who went on birth control, and she said the birth control made her crazy. She was super emotional. It just was not working. And then she found this book from her sister, recommended it, so it was natural birth control. And then when I found out she was using it and it was effective, I started using it, and so I just like it. She says, she feels you can trust this more than just taking birth control. Because when you take birth control, you still don't know when you're ovulating or when you could get pregnant. Maybe you take an antibiotic because you were sick, and then suddenly the birth control doesn't work and you get pregnant anyway. Well, here, there's no questions about it. So if you can find it, you can get it. Highly recommend this. Another thing I did during my premester was take prenatal vitamins. So at least wait 3 to 4 months before we tried to conceive, I started taking. I really like this brand, Nature's Plus. Of course, there's a lot of other brands on the market. You can do research on those, what works for you. Get a good DHA. I also took something like dried beef liver, what else? Vitex, maca powder. I'll do another video on why those different supplements I picked worked for me, but basically just find what would work for you. Even if your husband is willing to, I think it's a good idea. I suggest this fertility blend. I found this on Amazon, and he took this about 1 month before trying, and basically it just makes sure that he's nice and healthy and his sperm is nice and healthy too. And just briefly mention, the reason why I like this Nature's Plus brand is because it is all natural. If you look at the ingredients, it's just made from a bunch of vegetables basically, and it uses folate. So maybe you'll hear a lot of people say you need folic acid in order to get pregnant. Folic acid is actually the synthetic form of folate, and folate is what we get when we eat lots of green kale, spinach, broccoli. So that's inside this supplement. So it's a natural, not the folic acid, which is synthetic, harder for your body to process. This one is more natural, easier for your body to process and use. And to be quite frank, it's just so hard to eat that many vegetables every day. So if you take a supplement like this, you're gonna make sure that you're getting the folate that you need. Me and my husband did lots and lots of vegetable juicing every single day. So we would just take organic vegetables, something cheap, doesn't have to be expensive, and just every morning we juice those, and then we would drink that, and we found that within the first week it was like a major detox. After that, both of our immune systems like boosted up because we stopped getting sick so often, and we just felt like we had more energy. Our digestive system was way better. So when you're taking vegetable juice like that, again, you're getting all the vitamins and minerals that your body needs in order to produce a healthy egg, healthy sperm, and just have a really good like alkaline diet that also is good for conception and for your body. Now, another important thing before you try to conceive, what I did was I went on a diet, and not just a crash diet, I went on a keto diet, specifically because I was having ovarian cysts and I was having problems with my progesterone. So I was not doing like lazy keto or raw keto where you just eat like bacon and cheese and butter. I was eating the ketogenic diet that's like nutritionally based, so lots and lots of like a plant-based meal with healthy fats, avocado, coconut oil, olive oil, nuts, seeds, all those kind of things that are really, those healthy fats really enhance your hormones that you need in order to have a healthy reproductive system. And then because I was doing keto, I was cutting out all the sugar and processed wheat, all that stuff. So that helped my cysts to basically go away. And that I felt like really enhanced my fertility. All right, another thing I did was seed cycling. So I don't know if you ever heard of that, but basically it's like the first half of your menstrual cycle, you're gonna take 1 tablespoon of flaxseed and 1 tablespoon of, pumpkin seeds, raw organic. You just grind them up in the coffee, put them in your smoothie or put them in your cereal. And the second half of your cycle, you're gonna do sesame seeds and sunflower seeds. And what those seeds do is basically they just help balance out your hormones, so your estrogen and your progesterone, which are like major essential things in order to create a baby. So that's what I did. I wasn't like super regular about it every single day, especially once my hormones started balancing out after I started changing my diet and all that. But I found if I just blended a big batch of it during the beginning of the week, then I could just quickly add it to my smoothie. And so if you want to look into that more, I'll put a link down on the website that I found that information from. Castor oil pack. Okay, now if you never heard of this, definitely look it up on Pinterest or YouTube, how to do it. That's what I did. But basically, every single night or every other night or whenever I was free, you just take some castor oil and a cloth, like this is organic cotton or flannel cloth. Pour it on there. Then you get a hot water bottle or an electric blanket and you put that on top of where your ovaries are. And just let it sit there for about 20 minutes and just listen to some relaxing music. I found it very relaxing. And what it does is the castor oil goes down in through your skin and basically to your ovaries. And so if there's cysts, like remember I mentioned I had that, or if there's anything in there, it just helps to get rid of it, basically dissolves them. And it's just a very good detox. So before I would do the castor oil pack, I would do a fertility massage. So I'll put a link below where you can find how to do that. It takes about 5 minutes. And I found that every time I did that fertility massage, within that first week that I was doing it, my reproductive organs, like my ovaries, felt so sore. But then after a week, they didn't feel sore anymore. So I think it was really moving things around. Another thing I did was fertility Pilates. So again, you can just look that up on Pinterest. And same thing, the first week I did that, oh my goodness, all my reproductive organs were like super sore. So just imagine you have a muscle, right? And you never work out, and then you work out one day and you're like, oh, I really feel that muscle. That's how I felt internally. So I was thinking, wow, this is really good. Basically sending a lot of blood flow to that area and just strengthening those muscles. So the last major thing I'll mention that I did before we conceived was doing a lot of meditating and visualization for fertility and for conception and for creating a baby. So, you find what works for you. If you go on YouTube, there's so many different videos that you can listen to for fertility meditation and visualization. Some of them to me were a little bit like weird and voice quality is not that great, so I didn't like to listen to them. So I'll put a link to the one that I found that I really loved, and I ended up using it over and over and over again. What I liked was it was a combo of like positive affirmations stuff that you could say to yourself to have a positive mindset and attitude about your fertility and about conception. But then it also had a part about visualizing. So she would say, visualize, you know, the baby's room, visualize your big pregnant belly, visualize the day at the hospital when you're giving birth. But it has this beautiful background music, super relaxing. And I would just try every night to just lay in bed and listen to that. And there are some parts in there that like I didn't really care for, and I would just skip over those parts. So, you know, pick and choose what works for you. Meditating to me was more like doing positive affirmations. So I found a bunch that helped me in particular. I'll just read a couple to you, like, I am grateful that I am a woman. My menstrual cycle connects me to all women. I am worthy of love, life, and happiness. My womb is a healthy place that will nourish my baby. So, and I just had tons of different positive affirmations that I wrote down and would repeat, because if you're doing all the things in the book to take care of your body physically, you know, and like taking supplements and exercising and all that, but mentally you're just worried and you're anxious and you're like, oh, I'm not going to conceive. Oh, I'm not going to be a good mother. Or how are we going to take care of, if you're like having all these negative doubts and stuff, that's totally going to kill your TTC journey. So you definitely want to find something that helps you to do meditation and visualizing. It's like visualizing what you want in life, and that kind of somehow that makes it so that you actually reach that goal. So in addition to all those things I just mentioned, obviously I tried to exercise more, you know, get my blood circulation really flowing. I tried to cut out coffee. Now I didn't do it completely 100%, because they say caffeine is not good for your fertility, but I did manage to get down to like 1 cup a day. And then interestingly enough, once I actually got pregnant, I didn't want coffee anymore. Like just, I had no desire to drink it. Another thing I tried was the OPK, or the ovulation predictor kits. Like I said, I was using that book, so I knew when I ovulated, but I just wanted to make sure. I might do another video on this later, like my experience of using those. Some women like to do that. So I will try and make some more videos to go into further detail on some of those things that helped me. And if you have any suggestions or any questions, you can leave them down below in the comments. Again, I'll also link some of the videos on YouTube, or some of the Pinterest links or websites that I used to help me with my journey. And if you like this video, please give a big thumbs up, click the subscribe button, and see you next time.